Thank you for joining us, everybody. We're going to get our show started in just a couple of seconds here. I want to remind everybody, if you could just share this broadcast, we would greatly appreciate it because it would help us get more views and make the show a lot more exciting for live interaction. So please, don't forget to share the broadcast. We also appreciate all of your likes and comments. Thank you so much for tuning in, and get ready for Spit The Wit. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to this show that was entirely produced and developed by the people sitting in front of you. Jessy Meadows and Frankie Almost. Brought to you in part by Rolling Hills Productions. Live from Las Vegas, Nevada, this is Spit The Wit. Jessy, if you would be so kind, would you please tell us what today's show's about?
Hi guys. Okay, so today's show we have a special guest, very special, and then we're going to be talking about like Bigfoot and aliens and Loch Ness Monster and the lost city of Atlantis.
We are?
Yeah, it sounds good.
And now, here is your host, Frankie Almost.
All right. We're off to another smooth start here. You don't have your phone on you, do you? We have no way of reading the chat room. Yeah, why don't you go do that real quick? That'd be really awesome because we have no interaction happening. If you're watching, please do us a favor and share the video. Jess, will you go get your phone, please? And we do have a very special guest in the house tonight, who I will be announcing here just very shortly. We would appreciate it if you would share the broadcast, as it says in the beginning of the show, because we do interact live. And sometimes we broadcast this from my page, and sometimes we do it from the Spit The Wit page, and the reason being is because I have more friends than we have fans, so we try to get a lot more conversation going whenever we broadcast from my actual Facebook page, but I don't want to keep making that a habit because I want it to broadcast from our page. So if you would like our page, Spit The Wit, and why don't you go ahead and pull that up. And if you like our page, then I can stop broadcasting from my page. Anyway, it's really weird how Facebook has it hooked up. They have it hooked up to where you don't have a chat room in the screen behind me if you broadcast from your actual page, but you do if you broadcast from your personal page. I don't know. So anyway, we got Jess working on that situation. And we're going to, I guess, take the time now to introduce our special guest. And let me briefly tell you about her and why she is so very special. Her name is Syvon Hills, and she is 79 years old, just turned 79 in December, and about to turn 80. There are other things that are interesting about her. She was married to a Korean War veteran, and he also served in Vietnam. Did not see action in Nam, but he served in Nam, and he saw action in Korea. He passed away in August of 2013. And I guess another reason why you're so special, Syvon, is because Syvon is my mother. So let's welcome her to the show. And this is Syvon, everybody. And that's your camera right there, Mom, if you want to say hi to everybody.
Hello.
And I guess it would help if I turned your mic up. Okay, there she is.
No, you want a silent mother.
So if anybody's wondering why I look young, there's my 79-year-old mother, who obviously does not look like a 79-year-old. I'm sure you guys were expecting a little gray-haired lady that was chewing on her gums.
Let's hope not,
right.
Ever.
No. But yes, so this is Syvon Hills, everybody. This is my mom, and as I said, she has been abroad. I was born in Seoul, Korea, because my mom and my dad So why don't you give us a little bit of your history, Mom? Where were you born? And just bring us kind of up to date, refresh us.
Okay, I was born in Wilmington, North Carolina, December 20th, 1937. I had 3 brothers and 1 sister. All of them have passed now. I'm the only one left. I met Frank, my husband, on a blind date. We got married 6 months later, and we had 6 children together. We had a very nice, happy marriage. We traveled quite a bit during our marriage, which was always fun. And he was always very good to me, and I'm very grateful for that. We were married 57 years. My son, as he said, came along in Seoul, Korea, and we were overjoyed because we had 5 girls, and we finally had our son. And then I decided I didn't want any more, so we put the baby maker to rest.
The baby maker to rest.
Yes.
You finally got the boy, I guess. A lot of people from the baby boomer generation was craving having a son. Is that the deal? Yeah. So, okay, cool. We also wanted to tell you a little bit about Syvon. If you do hear the pitter-patter of little feet going in and out of the studio, that is her dog, Bella, which she gave to my dad. How long ago was that, Mom?
We gave it to her on November of 2002. 2002,
okay. Mm-hmm. So, and we do have video of her giving Bella to my father. But the I guess the most amazing thing, what's so indifferent about my mother and most of the people out there, is my mother just recently became a great-great-grandmother. 2 greats, not just 1, 2 greats.
That's right.
So explain to us how that happened.
Well, as it always happens,
right.
2 people
the
got together and made a baby.
But who's...
So my oldest daughter's granddaughter got pregnant, and she just had the baby in October.
Okay.
A beautiful boy. I mean, he is just so beautiful.
What's his name?
Zayden.
Zayden?
Bailey got that name and put it together.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's absolutely wonderful. And Bailey is named after me. Her name is Bailey Syvon. So I do have somebody that has part of my name to carry on.
Nice.
Yes, it's always nice to have somebody that thinks enough of you to name their child. Danita, her mother, always loved my name, so I got lucky by that she wanted Bailey to have that name. Actually, she wanted to call her Syvon.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, she did. But her husband said no, so they call her Bailey.
Jess, I think, is one of the biggest fans of your name. She always tells everybody how she loves your name. Jessica.
Oh, Jessica.
Yeah,
you like
Jessy Meadows.
Yes. Danita was the same way. She loved my name, too. Yeah. And she wanted to name Bailey Syvon.
Yeah.
But it's good.
If I had a daughter, I'd probably name her Syvon. I love that name.
Yeah.
When I lived here before, there was a girl that worked at Wells Fargo who had called her husband up and said, "Honey, I just found out the name for our daughter when we have a baby." And she says her name is Syvon Elaine, and I want to name our child that. So,
nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yes.
Is it a French name? Is it a French name?
Yes, Syvon is actually a French. My mother lived next to this lady that had immigrated to the States, and she lived next door. And when my mother heard her name, that was all it was. And I'm going to name my daughter that, which she did.
Wow.
It's very pretty.
It is a pretty name, and it's funny because it's spelled Syvon, and I guess it looks foreign to people because most of the time when telemarketers would call our house when I was a child, they would always say a Syvon there, and you knew that they were a telemarketer because they said your name completely wrong.
Yes.
It was like, no, Syvon, the futuristic robot, is not here. Syvon, however, might be, but you're not talking to her, so... That's kind of how we would deal with them. Let's see. Chad said "Mama almost." So when he was looking at the chat, because everybody knows me as Almost, even though that's not actually my last name. It's just a stage name, but that I've been using for a long time. So it's so he said "Mama almost," and yes, that is Mama Almost right there. Although she's not an almost, she's a been there, done that, and and then some. Yeah, great grandmother. So, and unfortunately, I was going to queue up pictures, and we were going to share pictures of Zayden. But what I'm going to actually do is post them in the comments. So after this broadcast, if you want to come back and see my mother's great grandchild, they will be in the comments of this broadcast. Also, I wanted to remind everybody that it is not too late for you guys to win those Wayne Newton tickets to go take the tour of Casa de Shenandoah. All you have to do is comment on any of our we would prefer it on the post, and that's the dog that you hear shaking off. So we would prefer it on the post of episode 4, I believe was the episode, wasn't it? Yeah. Episode 4 is when we announced that, but we want you to write down a reason why you believe that you should see the Casa de Shenandoah. And my mother and I was ones that actually took the tour, so
it's a great tour.
It is a really great tour. That's true. And Wayne's a super neat guy. We like him a lot. We haven't had the privilege of meeting him as of yet. I mean, I think we might have bumped into him back in the days when we were visiting, but not well enough for him to know who we are.
No.
Right. But we think he's a super neat guy, and we've definitely supported him since I was a child and since back in the day.
I remember when he was on Lucille Ball's show, when he was a young boy, chubby as could be, and he sang Danke Shane.
Yeah, right.
And he was, even then he had that thing about it in his face that he was going to go somewhere.
Yeah, he's a very captivating person.
Yes.
And he's a very charming person, so. And is a very classy person too. So, and he's got a good heart. We like Wayne a lot, and and we appreciate Steve Disler and Casa de Shenandoah and Wayne Newton for giving us the tickets. So please comment, and you have until Wednesday, or actually Tuesday night at 11 p.m. to let us know, and we are going to be picking a winner and announcing it on a special broadcast here on 6 p.m. on Wednesday, the 23rd, I think is the date. 22nd. Okay, so let's get back to business here. What do you guys want to talk about? I'm open for anything that you guys want to talk about.
Oh, I don't know. How about dancing?
Dancing? What do you want to talk about dancing?
Well, my brother, he was 5 years or 4.5 years older than I was.
Which brother are we talking about?
We're talking about Maurice Levain.
Okay.
And he learned to jitterbug back when the jitterbug first came out in the 40s. And he was fantastic at it. I mean, the girls lined up to watch him dance. He loved it so much, and people would throw money, and he would run around and pick it up and everything. I guess he was about 12 or 13. And we used to go to Carolina Beach, and the girls would line up in one of the dance hall to dance with him. That's how good he was. And he was always really, really good with the women. They loved him. So I danced with him when we didn't have a partner for him. I would fill in. It must have been terrible for him to have to dance with a 8-year-old sister, but he did it. And we both loved dancing all of our life. I went to Japan. And no, I first went to Korea. Then after Janice, one of my daughters, turned 15, I took her to Hong Kong. And we went into the dance hall at the Hyatt. And that's on the Hong Kong side. We always stayed on the Kowloon side, which is where it went right on up into China. So anyway, I was dancing with this gentleman that had asked me to dance, and I started off the floor at the end of the dance, and somebody tapped me on the arm and was smiling and said, "Me next, me dance next." And it was a Japanese gentleman, and I looked and there was about 15 guys in line.
Oh, wow.
Wanting to dance. So I danced with every one of them.
Oh, wow.
And it didn't dawn on me until later that I was doing exactly what my brother had done when we were little kids. He always had girls wanting to line up to dance with him, and now I had men wanting to line up to dance with me. Like I said, dancing was in both our bloods.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's me and my dancing part.
And
I really love to dance.
And that was with Maurice, right?
Yeah, that was Maurice Levain.
And he just passed away. When was that?
In March. The 23rd.
Right. 23rd. I remember that day. Very, very sad loss.
Yeah,
he was a great guy.
Left me lonely without any of my family.
Well, you have us still, Mom.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, he was a super neat guy, and my mom has a picture that he photographed, but it looks like a painting of that Carolina Beach thing, right? Remember
Yes,
that?
uh-huh.
Yeah, that's it's a really nice picture. Maybe we'll even take a picture of that and put it in the comments here later on. So, Jess, I know that you had some topics that you wanted to talk about. You want to start addressing those or what?
I can't think of. Oh, wait. Give me a second. But yes, I am wearing a onesie, by the way. A Nightmare Before Christmas onesie, and this is what I would wear every day for the rest of my life if I could, just different onesies. And I'm thinking about starting a GoFundMe for all my onesies so that people can donate onesies or donate money for me to get onesies.
Right. Because as I don't think that people really know, Jess and I, we do get a little bit of money for the show, but it's not enough to live on. We mainly are doing the show because we like interviewing people like my mother and locals and stuff like that, and getting involved with people like Wayne Newton and stuff like that. We wanted to do the show as an informative show, so we get a lot of trade, you know. However, we're not really earning a living on the show, so I don't want people to get the misconception. We're not yet. I mean, we're headed in that direction, obviously, but so yeah. So whenever she's asking for donations, it's because we're looking for sponsors, basically, is what we're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go ahead and lean into your mic a little bit more when you're talking. Yeah. Okay.
Kind of awkwardly up against this thing here.
So and as you guys can tell, I'm still not really involved because I'm still trying to share this to all of our pages, which is our biggest pain in the ass getting this show off the ground. Is we have to share it and get it out there and up and running, and it takes seriously 15 minutes for me to share it to all of our pages so we can get viewers. So I apologize for that. We've been looking for an intern and we have had no luck. So anyway, go ahead and strike us off with a conversation there, Jess, while I try to get this out to more pages.
Okay. It's funny because I actually had a little list of stuff, but because Syvon was on, I was like, I'm not really going to say much. I'm just going to let her talk. And here I am. I'm like, okay, now I'm just trying to take up airtime talking about I don't know what. Just things and stuff. Let's see. The Loch Ness Monster.
What?
Anybody?
Are we really doing the Loch Ness Monster? Okay, no, we're not doing that. Okay. Not unless you have actual photographs that are more than just somebody's hand sticking out of the water.
I think it's a plesiosaur, though. I think it's a dinosaur.
Do you really?
Yep.
Oh, gosh. I feel sorry for you.
Well, that's part of why I'm on this show, is that everybody can laugh.
Right. Well, that's the main reason I'm on the show, is because I'm the comedic value. I'm the guy rocking the man bun when it's 4 years past its time.
I have two main purposes on this show.
Right. Okay. We are losing the show because I'm having technical problems. So let's get back to Syvon here then.
No.
Okay.
I guess that's it.
Actually, my brother Levain, you look an awful lot like Levain.
Do I?
Yes.
So he was a handsome double.
He was. Actually, all of my family was very good looking. My mother and father were extremely good looking. And my brothers and my sister was absolutely beautiful. She had blonde hair and big blue eyes. She also has passed.
And that actually happened on my birthday
Yes,
in
it did.
2013. Yeah. 2013 was not a good year for our family.
No. I lost my sister in June and my husband in August of 13.
Wow.
It was tough.
Wanted to thank Chris Brown and let's see, who else? For liking the broadcast, and also for all the people that have shared. We appreciate that too. Let's get back to Dad. You want to tell us a little bit about the man?
The man?
Yeah, and a little bit about his history and stuff like that.
Well, he was from New York City, actually Hell's Kitchen area. He told me one time about watching a Dewey parade, and they were throwing eggs and tomatoes at him until the cops caught him and ran across the top of the roofs of up in New York. But they finally got away. The cop couldn't follow him because they jumped a building to get away from the cops. So he got away with doing that.
So I think the statute of limitations is passed on that too, so they're not still looking for him, right?
I don't think so. Oh, yes, there was another time that the boys, when they wanted to go someplace, would jump on the back of the subways, which was dangerous, but also not liked by the cops. So one day, Frank jumped onto the subway, and they started rolling, and then all of a sudden, Frank felt this big whack on his rear end, and the cop had run up beside the train and was hitting Frank with the belly, what do you call it, baton.
Oh, yeah.
And as long as he could keep up with the train, so he gave Frank a few good whacks.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I met him, he was just back from Korea and Japan. After they left Korea, they went into Japan. And he came back to the States in 1955, around May. And I met him in November of 55. And he's the one that set our wedding date and told me he wanted this and he wanted that. So we did everything that he had, I guess, dreamed about doing. And we got married on the Main Post Chapel at Fort Bragg. Beautiful little church. And in 61, we went to Germany and spent 5 years there. Came back to Fort Bragg.
What was Germany like?
I love Germany. I always enjoyed everything about it. The people there, they could work really, really hard, but when it was playtime, they really knew how to play.
Yeah.
They'd get on that Autobahn and go as fast as that car would let them. You know, there's no speed limit on that. So.
Right.
Wow, that must be fun. I don't know how fun I would find it now, because as I've gotten older, I'm scared.
I don't know. When I get on the freeway, I'm 85, 90. Frank was always telling me, slow down, Syvon.
Really?
He actually called me Bonnie O'Phil, which was a racer from many years ago.
Yeah.
His name was really Barney O'Phil. But Frank would call me Bonnie O'Phil.
Yeah, I'm pretty cautious these days. Well, I had that car accident in 2012.
Oh,
so
yes.
Ever since then, I've been scared.
Yeah, that really can scare you.
Yeah.
Make you realize your life is not that easy to lose.
No, it happens in a second.
Yes.
We only have one comment so far.
No, that's not the case. The case is that we're having really bad technical problems, and I'm honestly considering stopping the show and starting it over again, because I have 4 major malfunctions happening at one time right now. I don't know why that's happening, but I think that's what we're going to end up doing to solve the problem. This is not a normal thing that we would do on the show, and I apologize to anybody that is watching. We are basically like disconnected during our connection. So
are you able to do that? You have the time slot for that?
We have the time slot. Yeah, we make our own time slot. We're our own bosses, Mom.
Oh,
you raised
you
raised a guy, a man of the world. Okay. So, no, so we are going to stop this broadcast and we're going to start it over again. And again, we do apologize, and this will happen very limited amounts of time. Unfortunately, it's live TV, and that's the way it goes. So we will be right back, and we will be broadcasting from my page, because we're being, for some reason, restricted in seeing any comments, and so We will join you in just a couple of minutes here. Sorry about that. We'll be right back.